example 3 that was already worked out to show you how we can graph a line quite easily if it's in slope-intercept form. Let's take a look at GotIt3. The equation is y equals negative x minus 2. And this is in slope-intercept form. So the first step I want to do, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to identify what is the slope. So the slope is the number in front of the x, the coefficient of x, and there's an understood 1 right there, so the slope is negative 1. And I also need to identify the y-intercept. We call that b. The y-intercept is simply this number out here. It is a negative 2. And so the slope is negative 1 and the y-intercept is negative 2. As we saw in example 3, we actually want the slope to be a fraction, so I'm going to think of that negative 1 as the fraction negative 1 over 1. And then the y-intercept, this is where it's going to hit the y-axis. So the second step we're going to do is we are going to take the slope and the y-intercept, and I'm going to start doing my graph. So I'm going to draw a quick x and y-axis. On your paper you have lines that you can follow and make it nice and neat. I'm kind of freehanding here with the mouse, so we're going to do our best we can here. So I have my y-intercept. So I'm going to do my y-intercept is negative 2. So I'm going to go on the y-axis and go down 2 spaces, and I'm going to put a point there. So let's go with down 1, 2. So right there at negative 2, there's my y-intercept. And now from this point, I'm going to do step 3. Step 3, the third step I'm going to do is I'm going to use my slope. My slope is negative 1, and I'm going to think of that as negative 1 over 1. So the top number, the numerator, is my rise. So I want to rise a negative 1. So what that means is I'm actually going to go down 1. And then my run number, the denominator, is a positive 1. So that means I'm going to go right 1. So what I do is I go from the first dot, I do down 1, right 1. And so if I go down 1 and right 1, I get a little dot right there. And there's my line. When your two dots are really close together, it's probably a good idea to do the slope movement more than one time. So I'm going to go down 1 and right 1 from this dot, down 1, right 1, and I get a third dot. And you can actually get dots all the way across the grid. Down 1, right 1 should go right through the corner of grid marks. If I had a grid on this graph, I would have a line that would go nicely all the way through those. So you're simply going to connect all the dots there, and again try to use something that'll keep you going in a straight path rather than the kind of curving business I did. I don't have a straight edge, and I'm using my mouse to draw with. So that was the fourth step. I went ahead and did it, but that is the super easy connect the dots. So the fourth step is to just draw the line through the dots. And again, you only need 2, but it's a good idea to maybe do a few more to make sure you're going the right way. And you could even pick a point and check the x and the y and see if they work in this equation. So like if I take this point, it appears as though it's at 2, negative 4. So if I put in a 2, I should get negative 4, and I can confirm that that does work. If I take negative 2 minus 2, that is negative 4. So I'm quite confident that that point is correct. And so there's my line right there. And that's it.